Okay, cool. All right, so for you said 29, Maggie? Okay, so for 29, let's read this. Rakisha's puzzled. She's working with the parallelogram drawn at the right, wants to make the smaller instead of bigger. What should she do if she wants the size of her new figure to be half as long as the original size? What zoom factor should she use? Well, obviously you multiply by 1/2, right? If you want half. So I think that's it. Exactly. And then what is the con ratio? It still stays the same. The ratio won't change because well, it's actually 1 to 2, but the ratio between like 11 and 16 wouldn't change. I would still be the same. Oh, I see what they're saying. Okay, the question is confusing. Okay, I got it. I got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So first off, part A, the zoom factor is 1/2, right? Because that's what we're doing. Now, with the same corresponding side, I think they meant was these two sides. I think that's what was meant. So 11 to 16 is a ratio right now between these two sides. If you do draw a new figure, even if you take half of each of them, it's still going to be 11 to 16. You're still going to maintain the same ratio between these two. I think that was what was meant. On the side. Yeah, actually, should probably ask Mr. Davidson about this one. For number 29B, because it's asking what's the common ratio between pairs of corresponding sides. Wouldn't it be 1 to 2 though, if you're comparing it to the new diagram?
Yeah, it would be.
Because the answer key says 11 to 16, so we're all confused. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Davidson.
Right, it's the same, because it's gonna be 20, it's gonna be.
Yeah, so I think that question is a little confusing. I mean, you guys should know. Peter, can you stop talking? William, guys, stop, please. Thank you. Yeah, I think what you should know is that the ratio between two consecutive sides would be maintained. That's true, whether you scale up or scale it down. But when you have a new diagram, whatever scale factor you used, that'd be the ratio between the corresponding sides. So anyhow, hopefully that clears up the confusion. Other questions you guys want to ask about? I'll put the fan on in a moment. No. Just say 1 to 2. Yeah. All good. Sure. Yeah, move around.
So like
For 344?
Yeah.
Okay, let's find out.
Or 34.
No, we didn't have 344.
Which one?
Oh, 334. Oh, okay. Yeah, because you didn't have any markings. You can't.
It's alternate.
Well, it still is. It just means they're not the same.
Oh.
They still are. Yeah, so like C and F are still alternate triangles. So are D and E. Just not the same because we don't have the parallel. In fact, actually, they don't look like the parallel. We never go based off looks. We need to actually have markings. But since you don't see markings, and the assumption is that they're not parallel, so you can't say the same, but they still have the same label. They'll still be categorized that way. So, yeah, but yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, we're still like just starting this unit, kind of scratching the surface. So, we'll keep working on that. How about 331, the algebra? That's I'm a little more concerned about. If you got, I'm not concerned, but just I care more about that. Whoa, bless you. All right, all right. Okay, that's powerful. I thought I had a powerful sneeze. All right. Anyway, you guys are cool. Cost cross multiplying, that all makes sense. We're good. Okay, anything else from the homework you guys want to talk about? No? All right. So let's move on to the lesson for today. Everyone has a note in front of them. It's only 2 pages. So what I want to do is continue the same discussion on similar figures and ratios and proportional reasoning. Hopefully it takes about 12, 15 minutes, and it should take too long. And the rest of the time, I want you guys to work on the project, okay? So let's do that right now. Okay. So, just so you know, we can go around the room and read. Faith, can you read the beginning of 314, please? All right.
Oh, sorry. When solving proportional situations, it is very important that parts be labeled to help you follow your goal. Likewise, when working with geometric shapes such as similar triangles below, it's easier to explain which sides you're comparing by using notation that everyone understands.
Right. So it's kind of like a language in a way, or symbols. Like we want to make sure there's clarity and we're on the same page. So when you're saying that two angles are the same, you're gonna mark it at the angle, but then put like a little like one mark, like A and D have like one marks, C and F, sorry, have 2 marks and so forth. And of course, if A is the same as D, C is the same as F, naturally B has to be the same as E. It just has to be because you only have so much room left in the triangle. So when this happens, we could also then say the corresponding sides are proportional. Notice how BC and EF are both in the same position. Also notice that AB and DE are also in the same position, okay? So one possible proportional equation would be that. BC to EF is the same as AB to DE. Write at least 3 more. Okay, well, what about AC? What corresponds to AC? EF. So of course it's going to equal the other ratio, BC to EF. Of course we could say that. That's not a problem. We could totally get away with that. I could probably also say AC over DF is the same as what else? If it's the same as BC over EF, wouldn't it be the same as AB over DE? So we have 3 pairs of corresponding sides, right? Where are my pairs? AC, I don't want to keep circling this. AC and DF go together, right? What does AB go with? AB goes with, yeah, totally. What does BC go with? Totally, 100%. Yeah. So yeah. So if AC goes with DF, AB goes with DE. So you can make all those ratios and like make all these different equations with that. Instead of write at least 3 more, I wrote 2 more. If you wanted to, you could say, I'll switch colors. You could compare 2 sides in the same triangle. Like what if I compare AC to AB? Now here I'm comparing AC to AB. Those are not corresponding sides. So that's a clear question, Faith, to clear that confusion. Those are not corresponding sides, but those are 2 sides of the same triangle. Where else would I see that ratio be true in the other triangle? DF to, correct. So that's using logic, right? If you use some logic there, you'd see it. Oh yeah, of course it has to make sense. Well, yeah, right? Because like small to big and small to big in each of the triangles, correct? Or small to medium, or whatever. Medium to big, however you want to write it. Yeah, oh man, go ahead, yeah. No, always in a fraction. Some people will do this. They use a colon, like AC to AB. That also means ratio, but I prefer fractions, mainly because you're gonna have to solve these eventually. There'll be some algebra involved, and we want fractions so we can easily put variable expressions and then solve them by cross multiplying. So because this helps us set up equations correctly by having fractions. So yes, you could do as a colon. Some people do that, but I prefer to write as a fraction. Okay. And I'll read the last part. Jeb noticed that measure angle A is the same as D, and C is the same as F. What about B and E? Do these angles have the same measure? Of course they do. We already said that. So yes. And that's because all angles in a triangle add to what, guys? Yep, there you go. Because you have nothing else left over, right? That's the reason why we could say that. Okay. Is enough circulation of air now? We're okay. Is it too cold? No? You good? Okay. Well, let me know when it gets too cold. All right. Okay. All right. We're good? All right. Okay, so let's look at 337. Lucas, can you read 337, please?
Which of the following statements are correctly written and which are not? Note that more than one statement may be correct.
Okay, here's what I would do. These are a little tricky. I'm going to warn you. Like when we have a test on this, which is don't think until the end of October. In fact, actually, I think it's a day before Halloween, so that's okay. because I would never do it after Halloween, but Halloween's on a Friday night anyway, so. Um,
Wait,
on the 30th, I think we are. And we do have a retake exam also, but only certain people will be eligible depending on how this project goes and how you did on the first two tests. Yes, what we'll do is this test will actually go towards the test number 1 category. So if like test number 1 was like out 33 points, but now I'm going to bump that up by another 30 points. So that will hopefully help your grades. And then of course, if that's still less than 8%, they can still do a retake. So it just depends. But I highly doubt it was going to be less than 8% afterwards. Yes, but it will go in the test category, so I'll carry a lot of weight. Click on 2, 1 in October and 1 in December. Okay, so what was that? Sorry. No. You're eligible for. I mean, you don't get to pick, but you have to be eligible, meaning you got less than 8% on any of the tests before that retake. Okay, what I'm gonna do is let's flip that first triangle. Let's flip it so it looks like this. So I'm reorienting the triangle. Why am I reorienting it? So I can compare the sides more properly. Right now it's a little hard to compare because when we have it, I digress when I talk about the test before Halloween. But this is where people get confused because they can't visualize what's happening. But if you take the first triangle, one to the left, and flip it or rotate it, however you want to rotate it, now we can see that AT goes with OG. I would, because we're gonna get some more complicated ones down the road. I would, yeah, as a strategy. DO compares to TC. Sorry, actually, let me say TC compares to DO or OD, and AC compares to GD. It does. Actually, I didn't realize that. Good observation. So you need to make sure everything goes. What was that? Sorry. Yeah, I did. I said that. Yeah. No worries. So if you go in order, DOG, let me go a little laser pointer. So DOG, so go CTA. So I don't like, that should be CTA. DOG, CTA, yes. Now, so you have to go in the right order. OGD, that should be TAC. So that's no good. DGO, so DGO, so I'm going clockwise. DGO is the same as CAT. It is. So actually, it's even more imperative that we reorient it so you do it right, because otherwise you're going to really confuse yourself.
does it matter,
Mhm.
for like the AT to OG, does it matter like the order of those?
Um, not necessarily, no, because I just want to know what sides go with what. But yeah, I try to be consistent. Actually, I should have said AT to GO. I should have said TC to I did say everything else correctly, but yeah, that's if you really want to be a little OCD about it. Actually, that'd be a funny way to call triangle OCD, right? Or eight, or should I'm trying to think of other ways, but anyway. Anyhow, yeah. That doesn't matter, but when you actually list the triangles, that does matter. Okay. All right, so I think you guys could begin solving these. So your table of groups, let's go and do 338. We'll check in about maybe 3 minutes, 2-ish, 3 minutes. Then we'll do 339, and then you guys work on the project. And by the way, there's no homework I'm assigning. Just get the project done. And I'll tell you what are some expectations. The paper part, there's a little more I need to share with you guys that probably wasn't clear about. I'll say that in a few minutes. So anyway, work these out. I'll work them out too. And we'll compare about 3 minutes. And make sure you're comparing sides correctly. Very important.
What is the little wiggle?
It means they're similar, similar, not same, similar.
I wouldn't. Put down other pieces.
You're already in the notebook.
Who else was gonna do that? I haven't, I was usually in class. Yeah, I know, you're obviously. I haven't just did that. I just thought about 2 steps. I just did it during class. So that one, let's keep around.
Wait, do we have classwork tomorrow to do it? Okay.
Let's see how you guys do today. I am open to that, but let's find out.
No, no, I just want to- Yeah. My friends are- you know, these people have to do something different. No, with this friends. Yeah, my friends are gonna do that. Yeah, no. They just like.
Okay, C and D are gonna be kind of funny with fraction of decimals. A and B should be whole numbers. You did it correctly. Or you could leave it as a fraction. Either way is fine. Okay. Hopefully you guys are getting.
Okay.
Wait, what was the answer? Oh yeah, okay. For C. 6 and 6 sevenths. Yes, I did hear it. Yes. Okay, I did hear that. Okay. I'll just leave it as a mixed size improper fraction, but it's fine. You did as a mixed number. Okay, so for part A, you should get 18. Part B, you should get 20. Part C, 48/7. Or you could write it's like 6.8 something, I think, if you wrote it as a decimal. And then for D, you should get 7.7. Okay, any questions? It depends. If I do ask for an exact answer, you gotta get fractions. Because if it has a repeating decimal, then you can't really express it without as a decimal without rounding. So it just depends what I'm asking. If I do say to round, then I'll accept a decimal. So, all right, last one here. Rochita drew triangle ABC, then dilated to AB prime C prime. So dilate means you are stretching or compressing. So if you look at it, I would actually redraw. So the answer is going to be yes. That's because a dilation will create. That's because sides are proportional. Because dilation creates proportional sides. Because you're multiplying every side by the same number. Meaning you can make the same ratios between corresponding sides. And I would do this. I would redraw the big triangle. Redraw the little triangle. Big triangle is ABC. Little triangle is A, B prime, C prime. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Wouldn't the line going across to create B prime, C prime, wouldn't that have to be?
It will. But because you're told it dilated, it automatically makes it parallel. It automatically will. But yeah, good observation. Oh, Okay, why did I redraw it? It's already redrawn for us. That was dumb. Sorry, it was redrawn below. Okay. Duh. Yeah, obviously it's redrawn for us. So yes, that's a good idea to redraw as two separate shapes. That's a great strategy. Because it really helps you to see the corresponding sides more clearly. Just like I reoriented the triangle on the previous page. So what's the relation between AB prime and AB and AC? So they're going to be proportional again. What that really means is that AB prime over AB is the same thing as AC prime over AC. Those are the same thing. So if I solve it, there we go. 4 over 10 over x over x plus 9. Now, do not try to figure that out in your head. Do algebra. How do I do algebra here? Cross multiply. You lasso 4 with x plus 9. And the reason why it works is you multiply both sides by the denominators. That's why it works. So you get 4x plus 36 equals 10x. 6x equals 36. What does x equal? There we go. It makes sense because you do get 6 over 15, which is 0.4, 4 times 0.4. Okay, good. And it's yeah, perfect. Okay. So I don't want to spend more time talking. I want you guys to work. Now, one thing to keep in mind for the quilt project, for the paper part, you literally could just like copy this here. I'm gonna ask that you create a Google Doc, share it with me. You will have to print it though, and bring the printed copy tomorrow. If you have trouble printing, just shoot me an email. I can print it tomorrow morning. It's not a problem, but I prefer not to if you could bring it home. The one thing that I overheard Mr. Davis talk to actually one of my students during office hours, when you state how you know your shape's a square or a kite, whatever, like a square, for example, oh, I got 4 sides are all congruent and 4 right angles, but you have to actually give me the lengths and the slopes. Like you actually have to say, oh, all 4 sides have this measurement. And the slopes of these are this, so hence they have to be perpendicular. So you gotta be a little more explicit. If you do share a Google Doc with me, I can actually give you feedback, by the way. I could actually put a comment or shoot you an email saying, hey, looking good, but you gotta do this. If there's any final touches, depending on how today goes, we could use a little more time tomorrow, but by tomorrow it's gotta be done. By the end of the class, it's gotta be done tomorrow. So let's work. Anyone wants me to take a look at their write-up, how it's looking, I can give you some feedback. Okay, once you work on it, okay. All right. Yeah, no problem. All right, I'll stop recording. Here we go.
I'll share.